You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, Y&R fans, Belinda from Soap Dirt here, and we need to discuss why Sharon Newman has not had a plot in a good long while and who her next love interest should be. And if you haven't, though, please subscribe. And now let's just dive right in. I will say, as a huge fan of Queen Sharon, it is quite frustrating to see her getting almost no screen time. When's the last time we saw Sharon Case? You know, we get drive-bys of her now and then when she shows up at someone's apartment or they show up at the coffee shop and she is giving some kind of loose advice about somebody's mental health condition, and then we don't have scenes with her again. Not only does Sharon need a storyline of her own, but she needs a man of her own. Her last great romance, in my opinion, was Ray Rosales. I know the last guy she dated was Chancellor, but that never felt like anything to me. They never had any real dates, like maybe one or two, and we only saw them have sex in the storage room at the coffee shop at Crimson Lights. He was never over at her house hanging out. Chance was not sleeping over, spending time with her family. So when Sharon broke up with him, it was just no surprise at all. It was nothing to miss. So with Ray dead and Chance off the table, who might Sharon Newman wind up with? So I've got 5 men in mind that I think would work well with her, but there's really one man in particular that I think would be great for her to be with in the end. So the first guy I want to talk about, and don't scream when I say his name, Tucker McCall. He is single right now. Audra Charles just dumped him. She's pursuing Nate, and he is divorced from Ashley Abbott. And if he stays away from Audra and away from Ashley, which I don't know if he can, he's definitely at loose ends. And of course, so is Sharon. Tucker has flirted with Sharon since he came back. Well, like when he first came back, I remember him flirting with her, and they do have a history. They have been lovers in the past. If you don't remember, they once tried to take over Newman Enterprises together, but he was really puppet mastering him, and that history wasn't the best, but they've both changed a lot. They've matured since then. And with him just being dumped and her lonely, I think this blast from the past could actually be a lot of fun. Tucker has that really good energy. He chews the scenery. I think he is a good match for almost anyone, and he could be for Sharon. He'd certainly be fun. Next on my list is Adam Newman. I know he's not single right now, but I just have to say I have always loved Shaddam as a couple. I shipped them hard when Mark Grossman was first cast in the role of Adam. But if you remember, they had them, I think, make love maybe once or twice and then broke it off. But they maintain this vibe. They have great chemistry together. I think Mark Grossman has great chemistry with everybody. Even him and Josh Morrow, even though they're playing brothers, great chemistry. So Adam is with Sally now, but if she leaves town, which she might, I could see him running to Sharon, or if he screws up their relationship, which he's done in the past. Sharon is the woman that Adam likes to run to even now when he needs to calm down, when he needs to get advice, when he needs reassurance. He turns to Sharon fairly regularly. And I do love him with Sally, I do, but I adore him with Sharon. And I think they are great together. And I think they were just teasing us when he first came back during the whole Snake Vegas thing. Because remember, they had him doing scenes with Phyllis, and then they had him doing scenes with Sharon. And I think they were just chemistry testing him, but I think they really missed out when they didn't leave him with Sharon. Next on my list is Nate Hastings. He is trying to start up something with Audra, but, you know, Audra is one of those who gives everybody a ride. So she will move on fast from him, I think. So he's a possibility. And what's good about the idea of Nate Hastings with Sharon Newman is that it would be new. And new is often very good in soap land because it's something we haven't seen beaten to death before. He's done with Elena. He's done with Victoria. He's schmoozing with Audra right now, but they're not shagging yet. Nate is the best type of eye candy. I mean, he is so hot. You can't deny that. They would make a nice looking couple. And he might like someone who's not in the corporate world, not in the medical world, somebody who can take him away from that. So, at least he has some escape from work. And I often like new pairings better than forced pairings or repeat pairings, unless, of course, it's a legacy thing. And I do like to see legacy things brought back. And speaking of bringing things back, my next guy is somebody they would have to bring back. I'm talking about Daniel Hall as Scottie Grainger. Scottie is a blast from the past, and it would be nice to have Lauren Fenmore's son back in town, especially since Sheila is alive over on B&B, and she's got a very tangled history with him and Lauren. So Scottie and Sharon had a hot fling in the past, but if you don't remember, it fell apart when he stumbled on top of Abby Newman. He and Abby got trapped in a room or a locker or a closet or something. They wound up doing the deed when they thought that they weren't going to get out. He later came clean to Sharon, but then he couldn't get Abby off his mind and kept making out with her in secret. And so they wound up splitting up. But now that Abby is with Devon, it might be fun to bring Scottie back and reprise things with Sharon. And Daniel Hall is absolutely adorable. I think this would be a great pairing. But I have saved the best for last. And of course, out of all the guys around Genoa City, especially all the single ones, it's Nick Newman that I most want to see Sharon with. Nick is totally single as a Pringle. And he and Sharon have such a rich history, and they share kids, and they still just have this electric chemistry. It has been a long time since Nick's had any loving since he walked away from Sally. Sharon hasn't had a man since she walked away from Chance. They both have got to be hard up at this point. And Nick doesn't really have much of a storyline, and neither does Sharon. I mean, he's been an ancillary player in other plots like the Jordan and Claire drama where he got slashed, but he's not been front burner, and they haven't had a lot of business plots. So he's just kind of floating around. They keep using him, which is nice because he's gorgeous, but he hasn't had his own storyline. I think it would be great if Sharon and Nick had a front burner storyline that turned into a real love story, a real reunion and reconciliation for these two. So of all of them, I have to say that Nick Newman is my favorite, but I think it would be really cool if they brought Scottie Grainger back to be with her. Let me know what you think. Who would you like to see Sharon with? Drop your comments, subscribe if you haven't, and definitely come back soon. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and we are here talking Young and the Restless 7 days a week.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.